Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and we are back for F1 23, my team career mode for round number 10, or part number 10. It is the Austrian Grand Prix. If you did not check out the last video, please check that out. The last race, spoiler alert, had Canada, had a pretty good result, got a P4, almost got the podium, but fortunately just kind of missed out due to the pace of the car. But it is a new weekend, it's a sprint weekend, so that makes things a little bit challenging, mainly because sprint races provide chaos, but not really also chaos at the same time, but they provide a different type of element for the weekend because you can't really get a full gist of your car, basically. But thankfully, we got the old format on, and we have 2 practice sessions. But as you can tell right here, it is time to look at the driver market. This is actually the second to last race before Liam's contract comes up. I'm 100. I think we're gonna drop Liam. I'm gonna give him probably 2 more races, but I'm sort of looking for a new driver. Just looking at the market, I would like someone with experience, but we do have some other icons. So you got Villeneuve, Hakkinen, Button. I know Felipe Massa. A couple of drivers. Kevin Magnussen, he's pretty cheap. He's on my radar. Same as Yuki Tsunoda. He's also on my radar as well. Lance Stroll, you're not on my radar. One of the breaking point drivers would be good. If I were to choose out of the 4, though, I would really go for Kelly Maya. Only because I would like a female driver in my car. Same as Jamie Chadwick. So those 2 drivers could be the possibility of the seat. And Jamie Chadwick is probably number 1 on my list right now to take that seat. Just because, you know, I would like to have a female driver in my team, and that would be really cool to have a female driver in my team. But anyways, it is time for some upgrades, and we actually got one of our upgrades on, which is the Halo upgrade for the, looks like some rear downforce, I believe. Or I think that was rear, yeah. So, Halo's on, and now we can do some more on the front downforce if we want to, or we can do some straight line speed. The straight line speed isn't too bad, but at the same time, it's really only helping due to that engine. And unfortunately, that ICE upgrade actually fails. That is not what I needed. That's not what I need. The ICE is like probably the most important upgrade I feel like for when it comes to durability, to be honest, because, you know, I mean, if the ICE wears out a lot, and we're going to be taking a lot of engine penalties too, so that's going to be really compromising that we don't get that ICE on. But we'll move forward, and we'll just see what we can achieve. We will have to take grid penalties anyway, so it's not like it's like the end of the world. As well, we could do some weight reduction. We actually have one of the heaviest cars in the grid, Rebel with the lightest car. Alfa Romeo being a little bit crappier than us. Our tires are pretty bad. The tire wear is actually cracked and nerfed and everything like that. So it's not too comfy, I can tell you that much. But fortunately, it's just how these looks like it's just how it unfolds, but we do have to get some power unit upgrades coming onto the Ferrari engine as well, so that is fantastic to hear. We also do get the ERS upgrade that came on in time, so that is good. Our ERS was kind of a bit crap, but like at the same time it wasn't too crap, so it's just good to get the ERS on and see what we can do. But practice 1 is done, FP1 around Austria. We go P1. P1 for 142S Racing, W. Car actually feels really good around here. The soft tire runs were actually pretty promising. Liam goes P16, he's on the medium tires. That's not ideal. Cars are a lot better than that, but at the same time it's practice. Practice times don't really matter too much. We kind of get a good gist of what the car will do. And on the soft tires, the car feels good on 1 lap pace. Again though, the one thing that I am not good at is qualifying, because whatever it is, I do not have 1 lap pace. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care if people think I have 1 lap pace. I don't. I am not Lando Norris. Or Charles Leclerc or Valtteri Bottas. My 1 lap pace is poop. So yeah, but it is time for qualifying. We're going to change the engine, get all fresh components in, and let's jump into qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. Apologies, my headset wasn't working. Here we are for qualifying for Austria. This is for the sprint weekend, so Q1, Q2, Q3, just to see basically just where we line up for the sprint. Thankfully, it's not the new format yet. I don't know if they will be adding the new format into the game. I hope not. I absolutely hate the sprint format. I don't like the sprint races at all. I think that they're stupid, and for reasons I'm going to stand by that as well. But anyways, Q1 here, Nick de Vries, 106.9, so I'm pretty sure we can easily beat that. But again, our car was pretty good around 1 lap pace. I think I said that before, but I'm pretty confident coming into qualifying. We didn't lower the fuel enough. I feel like we could have probably lowered it a little bit more. I don't know why we got like 5 laps full of fuel, but Austria's gotten some major updates as well, so a lot of the curbs have been changed, so that is very much ideal. So right here, it's no longer like a flat, it's kind of like more like a sausage. You finally can use a lot of that exit, which actually makes me happy, especially this exit too, because in F122, if you use that exit, you just spin out, because I like to ride as much curb as possible, but same time, curbs also cause a lot of tire wear as well, so that is 100% not ideal as well. But here we go, coming around for the checker flag. Logan Sargent gives us a little slipstream. Thank you, you fellow American. And we go P2, just behind George Russell, about 400ths of a second, I think, off him. So that's pretty promising, to be fair. Fighting with the Mercedes. Mercedes have one of the best cars probably on the grid in my team at least. But so far, Q1 done and over. Go P5. That's pretty good around the car. And Liam Lawson, once again, his average qualifying speed. His average position being down to P20 with a 106.5. And it'll say he's just 2/10 away from Yuki and Zhou Guan Yu, so that's not a great ideal. But I mean, he was closing the gap a little bit in qualifying, but at the same time, I mean, it's not, again, I mean, it's not ideal when, you're, again, I mean, if we're scoring points and Liam's not, it doesn't really help. But to be fair, I mean, this is just sprint qualifying, so his race pace is more promising than his quality pace. But here we are for Q2. We're kind of near the drop-off zone. We're in P9. We didn't get a great lap. We used actually a used set, so now we're on a new set of softs. Set of purple sector 2. So again, the car is pretty good around the second sector, which is kind of weird because I'd expect us to be slow around the second, but no, we're pretty quick around there. But I don't know, maybe it's just we just got like a lot more like I don't know, maybe we just got the car in the right positions in the right line. But that's gonna jump us into Q3, and it's about almost 2/10 away from Fernando Alonso in the Aston Martin. So Fernando's got some speed in that car. Don't forget he is retiring at the end of the season, so yeah, that's not great, but we'll keep pushing on to Q3. But anyways, you could tell a couple of guys in the drop-off zone, a couple of big names, well, not really big names, but a couple guys that we were fighting early in the season, like Pierre Gasly, Esteban Ocon. Alpine's falling off like a rock. I don't know what happened to them, but they did. And it is time for a Q3 lap. Final lap. It wasn't the final lap, the second to last lap. We actually have a new set of tires on, so we used up all our new sets, so we're gonna have to use a old set as we go out for the next lap. But that actually puts us P1 in the session, a 104.6, so that's pretty good. And then Max ruins it by that's pretty close, actually. That wasn't far off. I think he nicked us by like I'm not very good at math. And look at that, Hamilton gets us by at least a 10th. So yeah, but final running Q3 used set didn't improve by a lot, and everyone else kind of improved. They had new sets as well, but fortunately it's gonna be P7 on the grid for Austria for the sprint race at least. That's not bad. I wish we kind of got a little bit more, but at the same time, we are known better for the race pace than the qualifying pace, so that is 100% at least some good signs and some good news in this car. But yeah, we'll just have to see what we can achieve out in this sprint race. It is going to be a wet sprint race as well. Basically, it was going to be a dry weekend until about all through Saturday, where it's just going to be all wet and muggy and everything like that. Everything else, though, is perfectly fine. The race should be completely dry the entire time, so that's a positive at least. We're much better in the wet compared to myself in the rain. I'm not so great in the rain, which is kind of unfortunate because, again, back in like F1 2021, I was actually pretty good in the rain. So I don't know, maybe it's just the new cars that don't suit me well in the rain, but that Thankfully, wet weather conditions are a lot better this time in F123 than they were in F122. They were, oh, yeah, those were crap. But as you saw in the Imola race, though, we did pretty good in the wet conditions to get a comeback. So it actually is supposed to, I think it's supposed to dry off later in the session. I'm not 100% sure. We'll get to the race and we'll see what the forecast is, but I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a wet sprint race, so it's going to be pretty hard to overtake as well, but you can see all the discounts coming in, and also I think we might be doing just a little bit of upgrading, getting the car prepped for the next couple of rounds before we approach summer break, which will be the next 3 rounds: Silverstone, Hungary, and Spa, and then we head on into the summer break, and then we come back around the Netherlands. So yeah, but we're going to keep everything else the same, just trying to, I don't know what I'm doing. Here we go, upgrade time. We could do some durability, but we actually got the free for that for the, I can't speak today, for the for one of the upgrades. I think it was the turbocharger for the durability side of things, but clearly not. So we could do some major weight reduction, which we will do. That'll actually come on time for Spa, so that's pretty good. We actually could do some straight line speed if we want to. Straight line speed would be pretty good around Spa. We do have the strongest engine. Aston Martin got a rocket ship in a straight line. Look at that. Also McLaren, they were like one of the draggiest cars, but they got some straight line speed coming in as well. So that's enough for upgrading. We're going to jump into the sprint race. We're going to see what we can do on a Saturday. And we'll head onto the grid for the sprint race for 12 laps of hell. Let's go do it, shall we?
Well, the weather is not looking good today. We're expecting the downpours to continue into today's sprint. This will make for some very tricky conditions for all the teams. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's sprint. A fantastic effort from Charles Leclerc yesterday, and it's put him on pole, edging out Sergio Perez, who lines up P2. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Verstappen, Sainz, Hamilton, Russell, Joker, Norris, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Gasly, Stroll, Magnussen, Hulkenberg, Ocon, Joe, Tsunoda, Albon, Bottas, Liam Lawson, Sargent, and Nick De Vries. Which of these drivers will get pole position today? We'll soon find out.
Alright, so it looks like Crofty crapped his pants. That's 100% not ideal. You can tell right away, got a nice look at Carlos Sainz, and now you're taking a look down into the middle of the second sector. Yeah, that's a nice view. Thanks camera work and the whoever's running the Sky Sports. That's a nice camera shot. Everyone wanted to see that turn. No one really cares for the drivers apparently. But we're planning up P12 on the grid. I'm at P7 on the grid for Austria. And we're just going to jump right in. No hesitation, no enhancement needed. We're going to jump in for the 5 red lights. And we're now underway for the Austrian sprint race. Wet weather conditions, supposed to dry on later in the race. But let's go see what we can do in this race today. So far, a pretty good start around the outside of George Russell. Giving Russell just some space. Carlos Sainz to get a good exit out of turn 2. So we're going to jump Sainz as well. And also Lewis Hamilton is also up there. We're so far P5 in the sprint race as well. The Ferrari's got a lot more straight speed than us. We're side-by-side drag race down into the main straightaway. Carlos gets us a little bit of a block. And he breaks our front wing. And we also... That is basically my fault because I forgot to brake, and our front wing is broken, and that is not what you need in these conditions, and that is a lot of damage. We're going to possibly have to, I think we're going to have to question, I think that might be race over. I don't think there's anything else we can do in this race, clearly not. That, yeah, there's nothing we can really do honestly now. We're just kind of a sitting duck in this race, it seems like. So we're just gonna get overtaken left and right now for the rest of the sprint. I'm just gonna stay out here and pray for the dry condition to come in, then we'll pit and then we'll see what we can do. But or we'll probably just wait, see how much we fall back as a rock, and then maybe retire the car just to save the engine. But we're going to keep going on, see what we can do. But the front wing damage is not ideal. We've already lost like 3 seconds from Lewis Hamilton. Now we're holding up George Russell and Lando Norris, so that is not ideal. Very much into pursuit. But again, only 10 laps to go in the sprint. Thankfully, yeah, we'll definitely box this lap. We could do a gamble, though. We could pit for the soft tires. That is an option, because again, the softs could probably go pretty far. And it looks like it has stopped raining. It's just the track's very wet. That's mainly the thing that's going to... Oh, excuse me. The things that are going to compromise everything. But we'll just keep going on, it seems like. George Russell has kind of lost a little bit of time. He actually kind of outbraked himself a little bit. Just a little lock up in the rear for Russell. But fortunately, he's just going to keep on going. So he is fortunate. Fortunately, we're not fortunate, though, due to the front wing damage. But you can tell the middle sector is so bad in the with the damage. But we're going off track there. We're on the gravel. We're all over the place. There's a yellow flag behind, though. And I think that's one of the Aston Martins. I think that's Lance Stroll that's just spun around. We got a huge crash, and a safety car's actually been deployed. Well. It looks like that just saved our race. I don't know what happened to Stroll. Let's take a quick little replay of what happened to him. And oh, he looks like he just, I don't know, maybe he just got on the throttle too early, or he just spun out. But he actually collected Nico Hulkenberg and also Pierre Gasly, or I think that was Gasly. And he's also caught himself out too, so he could have some floor damage as well. But we're going to come into the pits, though. We're going to pit for a brand new front wing. And also, we're going to take a gamble here. We're going to pit for the soft tires. Because, again, I don't know how much the safety car will go for. But I think this has got a high risk, high reward. Or a low risk, could be a high reward. You know what I mean? And, again, changing the front wing actually will help us. Mainly because, again, I mean, that safety car helped and everything like that. I think we lost the end plate at the end. So, that's how much the damage is. I feel like the damage is a little bit worse than it was in 22. I feel like in F1 22, if you had a broken front wing, I feel like it wasn't too bad. But again, more realistic to life, which makes it a lot better. But also, you can tell that big gap. Look at him. Look at the amount of cars Stroll has just caused. He caused massive traffic jam to, I think that's like P10 down. I don't know what happened to him. He actually came into the box though as well. So I wonder if he got front wing damage, but. Everyone else kind of gambled, though. They pitted for the inters. We stayed out on the soft, or we pitted for the softs. And now we're just going to see what the rest of the grid will do. I think that's Gasly's coming in. No, that's actually Hulkenberg. He's actually coming in. And this could be for the soft tires as well. I think he might go for a gamble here. And he is going to go for a gamble. Or he's going to... Oh, he's going to go into the mediums. So the Haas have made a gamble. I can't speak. They've made a huge call, and they're going to pit for the mediums, and they're going to go all the way to the end here, while everybody else is going to be stuck on the inters. I wonder if anybody's going to respond, and we're going to fast forward to see if anybody will respond. Could Leclerc respond? Could Max respond? Could someone else respond? We'll take a look. It's just, again, you need to see, like, where do they go down? That's actually Verstappen, or is that Perez? That's Verstappen. It looks like he's coming into the pits. He could be coming in for a gamble for the soft tires. And since we pitted, we're going to actually be in the back of this train. And we're actually going to possibly be leading the Grand Prix for the sprint race. Max is coming in. He's going to pit for the mediums. Everyone else, I think, could be going to mediums. So I think that's Liam that's also coming in. So he's made a... Yes, that is Liam coming in. So a couple more guys are coming in. Liam Lawson, though. Thank you, Liam. At least you... thank... Whoever's our strategy team, thank them for calling in Liam. But again, it's a slow stop. That's not ideal, but I think he was going to be in the back of the grid anyways. But anyways, green flag racing, we're going to be in the front of this queue here. Everyone else is coming in. Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, I think Russell as well. All those guys have came in. Mercedes are double stacking. Logan Sargent, Yuki Tsunoda, and both the McLarens stayed out. And again, there goes Sargent. He actually goes off. And Hulkenberg is P2 at the moment because he will be P2. We're going to be leading the race with only 6 laps to go on the soft tires, and we're going to push all the way to the end here. And Tsunoda, and I don't know what Piastri and Tsunoda are doing. They're just staying out in the inters. This is basically the real-life Austrian sprint race all over again, where the track dried out, and people are gambling, staying out in the inters. But again, I don't think those inters will hold off enough. I think they're going to just fall like... I think they're going to fall like a rock, honestly. I don't expect them to go very far on those inters, but... At the same time, what am I going to know? You know, again, we're going to be facing the McLarens, and the McLarens are pretty quick, but, you know, their tires are going to be overheating, and they're going to be sliding all over the place. it's going to be a disaster for them. But also, our car's not even very stable either. We're kind of struggling a little bit to get rotation in, so that's not ideal. But we're going to possibly take the lead here, hopefully on this lap, and we should secure P1. Hopefully, if Hulkenberg kind of keeps the train behind him with all the fast guys like Max, Sergio, Leclerc. Who else can I think of? Who else is in that train? Liam Lawson, he's in that train. He could get points in this race today if he plays the cards right. That's a positive for him. But anyways, we're all over the back of Lando Norris here. We got Slipstream. We're dumping overtake. We're going to go around the outside of Lando. Lando's going to get the inside, but we're going to go around the outside. We got much better traction. We're going to take the lead of the sprint race. And Verstappen has gotten around Hulkenberg for P4 in this race. And look at this. We're P1 in the sprint race. We're leading the sprint race in Austria. I believe this is, no, it's not the first time we've led a race. We've led Imola before. What am I thinking? And we led Monaco. But here's a quick little battle here to show y'all what was happening before with Liam Lawson on lap 7, though. You can already tell right away. That's actually Bottas going around Sargent. Sargent's actually staying out on those inters. But again, everyone else pitted for the mediums. Look at this, 4 cars battling for the minor point playing positions, and also just positions overall. Because again, I think Lawson could get points here. I think he secured PA, but he goes around the outside of both those cars. Hell of a move from Liam. What a move! But again, look at this. Look how many people are back here as well. Hamilton, Sergio's back there as well. I mean, just look at the amount of just like amazing race cars back there, and they're all just stuck in this train. Sainz has got around Hulkenberg. Stroll's now getting a move around Hulkenberg. Nico is falling like a rock. Verstappen has caught us by. He's catching us by at least a second a lap, which is not ideal for me because, again, I would like to win this sprint race because, again, that is 8 points on the board for us. But, again, there is still 2 laps remaining, and Verstappen could be all over the rear of us because our soft tires are dying off. We made the gamble for the softs, though, because I knew the softs would be a lot stronger on the last lap of the Grand Prix. Max is probably not going to get us, but, again, we're really struggling through this middle sector. I mean, the car does not feel right for some reason in the middle sector, so certainly some things that we got to find overnight, I feel like, when we come into the race. But the race pace isn't so great, and you can see Verstappen's all over us. But we're going to secure a victory. We're going to win this sprint race. We handle the pressure off Verstappen. We do again, but we are last down in lap 1, and we're going to win the Austrian sprint race. Hell of a job. Shake of a hand. Whatever you are, if you're watching this on a laptop, high five. Boom. That is one hell of a performance from me. And also Liam Lawson. My man. My fellow Kiwi. Well, not really fellow Kiwi. I wish I was Australian. The Kiwi gets home in P8 for the team. So Liam, or no, P6. Oh, I lied. There you go, Liam. Liam bringing home some nice points for the team. He got around Hulkenberg. He got around Alonso as well. And it looks like, unfortunately, he did lose the battle to Stroll, though, which is kind of unfortunate. But again, it looks like Lando and everyone else felt like a rock. But there it is. P7 now on the points, ahead of Alonso. P5 now in the constructors. This is crazy. And Liam Lawson gets P15. Finally, some points on the board for the Kiwi. Oh, that's pole position, baby. Let's get on to the sprint, shall we?
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of around 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill of turn 3. Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Joker lines up on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Stroll, Liam Lawson, Hulkenberg, Fernando Alonso, Joe, Albon, Ocon, Norris, Magnussen, Hamilton, Leclerc, Russell, Oscar Piastri, De Vries, Gasly, Sargent, Tsunoda, and Valtteri Bottas begins the race from the back of the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. The last few races have been a bit rough for them, unable to get a clean run. That's got to have some effect on their confidence, surely.
Certainly confidence is an important factor. And every time you're involved in an incident, it's not just the car you damage, but that confidence as well. But all the top racing drivers are able to tune that out when the race gets underway and focus on the job at hand.
Here we are in the grid for Austria. We have pole position, and this is the third pole position of the year, and we have actually not delivered on a win yet. Hopefully we can change this today. Could we get this win? I don't know. We're gonna have to get some luck here, because again, you know how quick Max Verstappen is in that Red Bull, and the car is not. Again, we need to keep our hopes high. I mean, the car is good, but it's not like. It can't really fight for race wins, I feel like. It's not like a race winning car. It just lacks a lot of there's just a lot of negatives about the car still, which comes to mainly just at some tracks where I think it's just mainly a lot of just high down. Well, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I feel like the car's not. You know what I'm talking about. Some tracks handles well, some tracks it don't, but very much indeed. But anyways, we got the 5 red lights, so we're going to go for the medium to the hard strategy. 5 red lights, we're now underway for Austria, for the main Grand Prix, for the main feature races as well. We get actually a good start ahead of Max Verstappen. Verstappen does not get the greatest start. We got an amazing start, and we're going to jump basically everybody in the whole grid. We're going to take off, and we are gone away basically. But I know at the end of the day, it's going to be pretty difficult to get around Verstappen. Look at Max already with the straight line speed. He's going to send one down the inside. He's not wasting any time in that Red Bull. He wants to get past it as fast as we can. We're going to still fight this around the outside, though. We're going to actually get right back around Verstappen. We got a lot more traction. I feel like Verstappen could be on a used set of softs. So that, or no, I think he's got a completely new set on that car. Again, we already used up our new set in the sprint race. So that's not great, but again, everything could kind of happen though if we're lucky enough to get like a safety car or something like that. Then something can easily change the race, but we need to keep the goals high, and we're just going to keep on going forward to see what we can do in this race. But tell what else got a good gap. I don't know where Liam is. I don't think Liam even got like the best start. He might be behind the launch Stroll, but again, Verstappen down the inside. He turned in just a little bit too early. He had to actually back out of that. Again, it's now a 4-car battle for P1, and that involves with Sainz and Perez and everyone else back there. I thought Charles Leclerc was in this battle. Clearly not. I think Leclerc's all the way in the back. But again, Verstappen's going to take the lead. He's going to take on, and he now sets sail for P1, and he is just gone. Look at that straight line speed in that Red Bull compared to us. Sainz, though, the Ferraris actually went really well around here in real life, and he's also going really well around here. He's going to go down the inside on Perez. That could be a good battle. We'll see what goes on here. Sergio Perez, it looks like he's going to be dumping all the overtake in that Red Bull. Again, he's got much more straight line speed advantage over to the Ferrari. Again, the Ferrari has the strongest engine, but again, that Ferrari isn't really so great, I feel like. I don't think Ferrari's even won a race this season yet in my team. I could be wrong, though. Quote me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think they've even won a race. They've came close, though, and Carlos Sainz, though, he's made a hell of a job, and he's actually going to hang on. But look at this. Lance Stroll's now fighting Sergio Perez. Look at that. Go on, Stroll. Everyone else is a Stroll fan, it seems like. I'm just playing. The Canadian, though, chasing after the Red Bull. Could he be gunning for Sergio's seat? Probably. Maybe not. I don't know. Again, we're going to keep going on. It's not lap 4 now. We've actually lost DRS to the guys in front, but also Sainz battling Sergio and Sergio fighting Stroll. It's actually made them not get in our DRS, so that is that's key to success. So we'll just keep pushing on. We'll just watch the pace at this point. And again, we don't really have to push hard. We just have to manage the pace. We could lift and coast here, basically. There's no point in using up all the tires. And oh, safety car has been deployed. I don't know who that is for. That could be one of the Alpines that got out, and we're having to get off the gas as much as we can. Let's go take a look and see what happened. And oh, that is one of the Alpines. That is actually it's a double DNF for both. Oh no, that's Gasly with a broken front wing. Is he out? Oh, I don't know if he's out yet. Oh no, this is disaster for Alpine. They've just they could double DNF in this race today. Oh, that is not good. No, red flag now. What the hell is going on? A red flag it looks like, and that could be due to the buildup of debris on the track on the front straightaway. So, well, that just saved us a token. Wow. All right. Well, so much for that. New race strategy. So what do we do here? So what do we do? So what's the plan? You know, what's the plan? Could we go to the end though in the hards? I don't think so. It'd be too no, the hards would just die off. This is the hardest part. We could go for a medium. We could just extend to the. We could extend to the mediums, or we could go for the hard, and then pit for a medium. Or we could just pit for, or we could just go on the softs and go hard to the end. We might do that. We don't want it to stop. So I think we might gonna go. I think we're gonna go. Or we could actually, no, we could go to the, mediums are a bit, oh man, this is hard. Let's just go to the hard. Yeah, let's just play it safe. We're actually going to run, I think we're going to run hard, medium, soft, and hard. I think that is the preferred strategy, and that's what we're going to do. But again, we're back on the grid. Can't do anything to the car, but the 5 red lights now. Lights out, number 2 in Austria. And it is green flag, or green flag technically back on their way, and the lights out and away we go. Green check ahead. Let's get back racing here around Austria. We get a good start ahead. We got the inside line, and we had a hell of a start compared to Max. Verstappen though kind of had a little bit of a tricky start just to get on the exit. He was on the much more clean line of the track. We're on the dirty side, but again Verstappen's fighting this all the way down up at the turn number 3. We've sent one down the inside completely, and we've just outbraked ourselves. And unfortunately, we're going to lose a spot to Sergio Perez now. Perez is now going to fight this back, but no, he doesn't. He's going to back out of that, and we're going to show him our beautiful rear wing because, yeah, I can do that. But we're going to keep going forward. We're going to try to catch up to Max Verstappen though now. See if we can get that Red Bull. I don't know, but you know, I mean, could we get this win? I don't think so, but. You know, it's tempting. You know what I mean? It's really tempting. But we're going to keep going forward as much as we can. But as you can already tell by Max, he's sliding a little bit all over the track compared to us. We also have been sliding a little bit on the track as well. He did get a little bit of a squabbly exit coming out of that last corner, but also a couple corners before. So I don't know if he's on a used set of mediums or he's on a new. I think he's on a new set because I think he started out in the soft. But again. There's a battle, though, between Stroll and Perez. They're fighting for the podium positions. And here's Liam Lawson, lap 10. I think he's sitting in the points. It looks like he is in the points. He's actually making a move on Carlos Sainz now. And Sainz locks up, and Lawson thought about the move. No, he doesn't. He's going to just... he's not going to fight that. And look at this, Alex Albon. And the Williams, he's up there in the points-paying position. But again, here we go. Here's the fight. This is between the Red Bulls, and also that's actually between us and the Aston Martin now 3-car battle for P2 in this race. We actually make a little bit of contact with Sergio, mainly because we just kind of lost the car just a little bit in the exit. Our tires are pretty worn out, and again, they're both going to get ahead, but we're going to fight this back though, because again, a podium would be a nice gift from us. But again, we can fight these guys compared more to Max, where Max is gone. I was thinking about a big send down on the inside to get 2 in one corner. I'm not even going to bother. We're going to let Stroll and Perez go. We're going to have them fight. They actually don't get DRS, though we get DRS. Sergio's going to be in the slipstream of the Aston Martin. Stroll's kind of a sitting duck here, and Perez is going to go around the outside of Stroll. Stroll's still going to fight this back, and they're going to be fighting all the way down until around the other, to the near the Red Bull or the big bull, if you know what I mean. And again, the Orange Army absolutely probably cheering on Sergio Perez at this moment. I don't know if the Orange Army is a fan of Sergio Perez. I know I am sometimes, but again, Sergio around down on the inside, and he thought about it, but he backed out of it, and we're going to be side by side with him. We go around the outside of Sergio. We get the move done, and that's back up into the podium positions, and we now have to go after Lance Stroll once again to basically attack Stroll again. But again, one thing to keep in mind though is that these tires are pretty rough on the edges, so they're not at the greatest spec. So there's like a little bit of things that is wrong with the car, but again, we can easily be fighting Lance Stroll here. So we're going to thought about a move. No, we don't. We're going to back out of it. We're going to wait, get DRS, and make the move down. And we're going to see if Stroll will defend this or not, heading down into turn number 4. Or yeah, I think this is turn 4 or turn 3, one of the two. This could be turn 4. But again, go down the inside though. take as much of that curb as we can just to get a better exit. Stroll, we're going to force Stroll around the outside. A little bit on the marbles, though, which is not ideal because, again, the marbles actually do give you a lot of problems. And, again, we're going to go around the outside, going through the next corner. Don't want to get pushed off. We don't get pushed off. Still fighting Lance Stroll. We're still side by side. And we're going to jump ahead of Stroll. And look at that. P2 secured in this race. But Stroll, Stroll might fight this back, He might. Thinking about it. No, he doesn't. He's going to back out of it. He can't do any more of that. Stroll is gone. Bye-bye, man. And hopefully you keep on fighting Sergio. Because, again, if you keep on fighting Sergio, hopefully y'all will have a battle. Because then we can just pull away. And that could be happening now with Sergio to go down the inside on Lance Stroll. Rides a little bit of the curb too much. Stroll around the outside. Thought about it. They're still fighting for the podium position, for the last points paying position. But again, here's a quick look at what's going on down the field. Look at this. Look at this amazing battles between here. And a lot of these guys are out of order. Science is out of order. I don't know if you can really put Hulkenberg out of order. He just had a great run. But it looks like everybody like Hamilton and Bottas and Hamilton and Russell, they're kind of like all out of order. So that's not ideal. But Liam, though, he's actually, I think he's behind, or he might be leading that train. I'm not 100% sure. But anyways, fast forward. Everything kind of quiet down from us on our side of the race. Verstappen's just in a league of his own. He's just gone. We're sitting P2, though. Perez, he's sitting P3. Stroll P4. Alex Albon, though, for Williams. Look at that. P5, mate. Williams have been on a hot streak in real life, and they're also having a hot streak in the game as well. I think they're one of the only teams to yet score points yet. They might have scored points. I can't honestly remember. But again, we're going to come into the pit, so we're going to pit on for the hard tires. These tires are done. There's no point in continuing on the hards, and so we're just going to come in, pit this lap, and just get a new set of tires on the car. But so far, we've actually pulled a decent gap away from Stroll and Perez because they are fighting so much, and that kind of just boosted us up into those positions. But again, it's going to be a pretty tough task, though. I feel like for to get anywhere near to get back where we were, because again, I don't know what the clean air pace is compared to the Red Bulls or the in the Aston of Stroll. So that's 100% sure. I would like to get ahead of Bottas here on this exit and Oscar Piastri. We're gonna get ahead of Piastri, former teammate. And again, Piastri's gonna fight this back though in that McLaren. We've actually had a couple battles with Oscar this year. They've been pretty fun. Very much, but we go down and we're gonna have the inside line, and we're gonna give him a little bit of a squeeze. We're gonna give him just enough space. So we actually got the DRS though because Piastri actually got past us. So I'm surprised that he didn't have his IQ strat out and he didn't wait until the detection zone. But looks like the AI aren't brightest, aren't they? And again, now Zhou Guanyu now up to lap 20. He's on old soft. He's been struggling a little bit. We're gonna get around him down the inside. Move is done. Basically, we're gonna push kind of to the end, just to see where we are compared to the Astons. I don't know where Sergio is right now. I think he might have. Oh, never mind. There's Sergio. I was looking at the other Red Bull, Verstappen, but Sergio actually came in. He actually came in behind us. But again, here's the battle for P2 now. This is going to be P2 in the race, though. Russell and Sainz, they're kind of like out of me and Sergio's race. They're kind of just fighting for just at this point minor placings. So they're going to go up to the hill. Russell's going to have the inside. He's going to force. Looks like he's going to force Carlos around the outside. He's going to give Carlos enough space. Fair play to Carlos. Fair play to Russell though for giving Carlos enough space around the outside. But thankfully, Sainz kind of had a little bit more and he got ahead. But again, Alonso also in that train as well. But Sergio's all over the back of us, and I think we're just going to let him go here. We can't really fight him, but again, if we can just stay in his DRS and just lift and coast behind him and just save the tires to the end, that would be key. But again, Verstappen, he actually came into the box and he's actually pitted for a new set of hards, so he had a clear gap compared to us. We were just caught up in a lot of traffic where he wasn't, so he was able to basically come out pretty well. But again, I think we're just gonna sit back here and back off and just see what we can do. Brake bias, everything like that's good. Differential's good. Nothing we can really change to the brake bias to make us go faster. We're just gonna sit back and relax for basically the next couple laps here, and as they call it, the lift and coast effect, and just see what the fuzz is all about as we come around into the later stages of this race. But as you can don't know what I don't know what the hell happened, what went off, but something went off on my phone. I apologize if y'all heard that in the background, but we keep moving on. Again, the car doesn't feel too great, but it feels just right. It's just, yeah, it's, I don't know, maybe it's just the middle sector is kind of a bit, we're losing a lot of time. But we can get really good exits, though, compared to Sergio. Sergio's been struggling a lot in the exits, but again, the DRS is so powerful that, like, you can't really, like, you have to, like, just sit behind them. I mean, in, like, last year's game, the DRS was, like, the DRS was kind of useless, I feel like. It was mainly overtake in last year's game, but in this year's game, again, the DRS is just so much more powerful. But again, here's Liam. I think that's in the points paying positions. That could be P10, but look at this. He's got a Liam, you got a massive got some big boys behind you, mate. That is yeah, that is P10. That's actually the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix now. We fast forward basically the rest of the race. We're lifting a close behind Sergio Perez, but again, he's under pressure from Carlos Sainz. But again, it is on the penultimate lap of this race, and we're gonna be fighting Sergio Perez now. We've saved all our battery, all our overtake as much as we can. And we're gonna, and this time we've switched, basically just lifting and coasting to now attack on Sergio. Sergio defends the inside, defend that just enough. We're gonna go do a little bit of a switchback, you know. We're gonna get around him. We're gonna get P2 now, and we're gonna take P2, and we're comfortably ahead for now. But again, there's still one lap to go, and if we all know how the last lap is around Austria, you might want to be behind, you might want to be behind the driver for the last lap, because again, you can easily overtake them up into around turn 3 down to turn number 4. You can easily get the move done if you think about it right and you get into by the detection line to get the DRS. But again, we now approach the last lap of the Grand Prix. Verstappen's actually taken the last lap, so he's bye, mate. You're gonna win this race by a country mile. We're gonna be fighting his teammate all the way to P2 in our, as I call it, our 142S race. But again, we're actually gonna let Sergio go here, though, and we're gonna get the DRS now. And actually, no, he actually got DRS, so that's not ideal. But again, we got much more overtake. We got a lot more strand speed than Sergio. We're gonna sit back though, because again, we want the DRS right here. There's the detection line right there. So now we got DRS. So now we're gonna fight him all the way down into turn number 4, and he actually gets a horrible exit. And we go down the inside. Don't overtake a DRS. We need to clear Sergio though. Sergio thought about fighting this back enough. I don't know how much overtake he's got, but that's P2 in this race. And we can get P2 here, because again, I don't think he can get close in the middle sector. But again, here's a look at Verstappen. That is another win here around the Red Bull Wing. Max Verstappen wins around Austria. He wins the Austrian Grand Prix. And we're going to come home for 142S Racing. We're going to get another podium. Hell of a weekend in Austria.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria. And a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win. Well, Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today, but what set them apart from the rest?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
The drivers are en route to the podium as we speak. What a fantastic win for the Red Bull team. They performed exceptionally today, keeping us firmly on the edge of our seats throughout the entirety of the race. Congratulations to everybody at the team.
There's your winner. Max Verstappen wins, and that is another win for the Red Bull driver. I don't know where he is in the points positions for the championship wise, but he is there. Compared to us, though, on our side, that is a amazing result again this weekend. I mean, we just played it so right, didn't we? I mean, a great Friday. We just qualified very well, mainly for the sprint race. The sprint race didn't go so well, though, because we got a lot of front wing damage, but we were able to just capitalize, and when we did, I mean, we were...
Now let's take a look at the driver's standings. Max Verstappen...
there's nothing much more to say. I'm just so happy with the result today. And Liam Lawson, though, hell of a job to him. It's P10, but again, it's just too late, mate. It's just... honestly, I don't want to drop him, but I like Liam, but I know I feel like if this was real life, I feel like Liam would probably be in the points a lot more, but again, you know, I feel like it always in these games where you have to give, you can't really give rookie a time, because again, you give them a full season and then they don't perform. But sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I can only imagine what he could do though in a top car. Like if we were like one of the best teams, that'd be a good question to see what would happen. But well, P7. 65 points on the board. We could actually get 100 points this season, you know, but big gap different from Sergio Perez. We are basically best of the rest, though. But again, I feel like Aston Martin is kind of like up there with the top 4. So Aston Martin are just up there. It's now just basically a top 4. But McLaren, a horrible weekend from them, though. But we get P5 in the constructors for now. P5 from 4-2S Racing. We're actually slowly gaining up on Aston Martin. We could actually gain up on Aston Martin because Aston Martin have kind of fallen off a little bit in development, but also they've just been unlucky, mainly because Lance Stroll's not performing. And to be honest, when does he perform? Season 2020, that was pretty good. But again, I'm losing my voice though from all this commentary. Been doing this for a while, and this is a pretty exciting race from our side. But yeah, we're going to keep pushing forward as we're going to head on into Silverstone for the British Grand Prix. Probably my favorite race weekend. I don't know, something about Silverstone makes it special. But that's all I got in today's video, y'all. Sorry that, again, slow up uploads, everything like that. Sorry for not punching out a lot more My Team content. But fortunately, it's just the way it is, y'all. I mean, this stuff happens. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. But that's all I got in today's video, y'all. Thank y'all for watching this video. If you want to see more videos, go check that out below. Just go check out my channel. If you want to see more, please like and subscribe. I love you all. Thank y'all for the support. It's been amazing. And this is a sayonara. I'll see y'all in the next one. Have a good rest of your day, y'all. And I'll see y'all